And that's what I want to look at, because all these are necessary. All those things, I didn't put them up there to suggest that they're not important. They are. I mean, you do need a highly evolved leader who can, right, articulate and motivate and do all those traditional things that we think of that leaders do, right? Organize, you know, the resources and human, you know, activities of the team to go conquer a common mission, right? I mean, I could give you 20 definitions of leadership right off the top of my head. And you need that. But it goes beyond that. There's something else. There's something else. And so what is that something else that a leader needs to have and a team needs to have? And let me make it very clear before I go any further that my philosophy is that everybody's a leader and everybody's a follower. And those, you know, they're like two sides of the same coin. Those happen simultaneously in every organization, in every team. And that just because Robin is the boss doesn't mean he's always leading. Leadership is about authenticity. It's about showing up and being the person who can, at that moment in time, help the team get the job done. Okay? And so, great example from my SEAL days, we had, you know, a commanding officer, right, of the SEAL team. We go out on a jump, right? The commanding officer is not the expert when it comes to jumping on an airplane, right? In fact, he's trembling more than most because he hasn't jumped in like 8 or 10 years, right? But Chief Smith has got 1,000 jumps under his belt, and he's a jump master. We call him a jump guy. And so for pretty much the duration of this evolution, Chief Smith is the leader. And the commanding officer takes a back seat. Now, is he still responsible if Chief Smith screws up? Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the role. And so it's a misnomer to call a role a leadership role, because that only exists if an authentic leader occupies that role. Okay, so positional, authority, rank, those are separate than true leadership. Okay, so that's important to know. And leadership is happening at all levels simultaneously. So anyways, the competent model is incomplete, leading to more failures than success. What's missing? What is missing? I'm about to tell you what's missing. And it's going to be one of those like, duh moments. Like, really? That's it? That's all you got, Mark? Missing secret is an integral view of your organization. Okay? Let me break that down for you. The organization and you as its primary occupants and aspirants and drivers has 3 spheres. And you live simultaneously in these 3 spheres. The first sphere is me, you, each one of you. Your heart and your mind. What's going on inside you at this very moment? Every one of you is looking at me through different eyes, is hearing me through different ears, is filtering my words through a different life experience. And so every single one of you is experiencing a different presentation, right? And that exists every moment of the day. So you need to be aware of that. I mean, we're aware of it, but is the team and the organization aware of it? Most likely not. I'm going to pull this up and back up. So the we, the team, is that intersubjective reality. Is what happens when we come together. It's what happens when we come together in our breakout session, or when we come together here as a team. It's what happens when you go back to your cross-functional teams. And now you've got a set of intersubjectivity that is influenced by that team. And that teamness both has its own personality, and that team influences each one of you, right? You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you're with your family, you're feeling very much like grounded. And then you get in your car, and you're alone, and then you go and you step into work, and you go into that team meeting, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like your internal world changes. The way you see yourself is influenced by your teammates. The way what your entire experience just suddenly changes. That's the intersubjective of the team. Very, very important. And then the third sphere is what we call the it. It's things that aren't living. And in an organizational sense, that's the company, the systems, the structures, the rules, the regulations. It might be the it of the industry, right? The it of the industry is, right, Obamacare, and how that's going to affect both the organization, your it or Scripps Green, as well as your teams, as well as your individual, experience. And so if you were to step back and look at this from a philosophical standpoint, every knowledge, everything written in about anything will fall into these three categories. If you think about Immanuel Kant's, sort of his three treatises, the good, the beautiful, and the true. Okay? The good is the team. The good and the idea of goodness and ethics, intersubjectivity wouldn't be important if there was just one person on the planet, right? And so his treatise of the good is talking all about the we quadrant. Okay, and that's the realm of justice and morals. That's where our culture and our worldview comes from. Okay, if you take it up to a societal level. And this is also where the culture and the feelingness of an organization resides, is in that we-ness, right? Influenced, of course, by the it. And in the beautiful is the realm of the I. Because beauty and art can only come from a human consciousness, right? It's not an organization doesn't create art. Team usually doesn't create art. Okay, and so the realm of I is where truthfulness is generated or cultivated. Individual truthfulness. As well as your sense of self, your sense of self-mastery, leadership, self-leadership, all those things exist in the I quadrant. And then that it quadrant, that's that organization. And the health of the organization, or the unhealth of it, resides there, and that's the whole functionality. How does truth get supported in that functionality of that organization? Systems, social systems, or an organizational level, organizational systems. Those types of things. So that's kind of the boring part, right? Philosophy. This is a fantastic model for understanding the human experience in an organizational setting.